This is spooky. This is kind of creepy. This is great. It's time for Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities.
Picture your mind as a cabinet where you lock up your darkest thoughts and deepest fears. What would happen if you opened that cabinet for the world to see? We are about to find out.
Hello and welcome to Screen OD, a channel for people who love TV, movies and streaming. My name is Tim. I'm an editor and a journalist who's been writing and talking about the media industry for more than 15 years. And Guillermo del Toro has been doing it for even longer than me. Not talking about the industry, but making incredible content. In fact, so much so that he has won himself an Oscar for The Shape of Water. And of course, is famous for making things like Pan's Labyrinth. He is also a master of kind of horror and suspense. And that's why in this 8-part series from Netflix, you're going to get quite a lot of that.
This is one of those nightmare specials, the kind you never get to the bottom of.
What was this family doing here? The one on the walls.
Lot 36. Ain't you curious?
Whatever is in there is mine now.
Okay, so what's this all about? Well, the Cabinet of Curiosities is hosted, essentially, by Guillermo del Toro, who starts each of the episodes in a very kind of, it's a Twilight Zone feel to it. There is a Hitchcock feel to it, as he stands there and he kind of introduces each of the different stories, the short stories that sit under this umbrella of the Cabinet of Curiosities. Now, what is the Cabinet of Curiosities, I hear you say? Well, we are told about the Cabinet of Curiosities at the beginning of the first episode. This is something that is an intriguing thing before people would travel, that would be taken around and stories could be told around them. And that's kind of the central theme of this, is that there are simple objects, there are simple themes, which then spiral very quickly into thrilling, magical, mystical, and quite scary stories at different times.
I've seen a forest that takes the dead inside.
Joy, see my paintings.
Please, show me mercy.
Clearly, this is a difficult one to get into reviews of because, of course, there's 8 different parts and each of them are quite distinct. Now, what you do need to know is that there are some excellent directors involved and there's some fantastic acting talent involved as well. The lineup includes the likes of Panos Cosmatos, who, of course, did Mandy. You've got people like Jennifer Kent doing episodes, who's the Babadook, the Nightingale, and, of course, Catherine Hardwicke, who you'll know from the likes of Twilight. This is a series that has a huge amount of talent involved in it, and each of the stories you can see the different directors' personalities coming through. And there's also a lot of different actors in it, lots of big names from the likes of Geena Davis, Andrew Lincoln, Dan Stevens, Rupert Grint. They're across all the different stories, and also you have some really standout performances worth looking for from the likes of Tim Blake Nelson and F. Murray Abraham.
Here they come.
That body will be your coffin. I'll see you buried in it.
Welcome.
Welcome to my Cabinet of Curiosities.
Now, to give you a kind of feel of the anthology series, part 1 is called Lot 36, and this one's actually based on an original story by Guillermo del Toro himself, and this is about a angry white American man who blames immigrants for everything. He's bitter and he has to deal with the contents of a storage locker. Now, this is quite indicative of the series in the fact that it starts with kind of quite a grim and relatively slow story about a man who doesn't really have any redeeming features, and goes from a mundane action of kind of a storage locker into something that quite quickly spirals into the story of someone dealing with, demonic spells and things in the great tradition of this sort of storytelling become very dark. All of these stories are brought together by a fantastic kind of eerie feeling that draws you in. I think sound is really, really important in the way that this show works. You are immersed in the experience as the screw starts to turn and you are drawn into the story. Every little sound around you really makes you feel on edge and alert. And another great thing about this anthology is that it doesn't shy away from some of the traditional themes that you see in these kind of horror stories. However, it has its own unique twist on it. Yes, there are zombies and there are vengeful spirits, there are devils and spell books, and you know, there are of course metaphors for bigger things that are happening in life that are layered throughout it. But it has a unique feel to it, and it has a really classy way of delivering these stories with fantastic acting, fantastic directing, and some really unique kind of writing in there to make you feel like you're watching something new, even though some of the themes are things that you may have seen before. If you like the eerie, you like the icky, you like to feel on edge, this is a series of different films which showcase some fantastic talent, which I recommend you go and watch on Netflix right now. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like and you haven't subscribed. We'll see you again for more videos very soon.